This is Fred Beck from Fred Talks Fighting. I'm joined over Zoom by Mams Taylor. I've only got you here for a short amount of time, so I'm sure we'll just head straight into it today. We'll start off with the first topic, the press conference on Tuesday. I think we'll start with this. Will KSI and Tommy Fury be on stage? And before them, will there be Logan Paul, Dillon, Danis? Or will the fighters all be on stage at the same time?
You'll have to wait and see. You'll have to wait and see. Don't think it's good to give everything away, but I'm really glad it sold out in 30 seconds. It sold out really, really fast. I want, it's. I think this is just shaping up to be the most epic card in history for our space.
Certainly, yeah. The undercard is looking very, very good. Dylan Danis has been very active in promotion on Twitter. Some say he's taking it too far. Your thoughts on Dylan Danis's promotion so far?
I mean, listen, he's going to have to if he shows up to the ring, which I believe he will. I hope he does. He's going to have to bear those consequences. He's getting very personal. Definitely crossed a few lines, but has he entertained a lot of people? Undeniably so. So it's a double-edged sword. But at the end of the day, it's uh, it's a tough one. I feel for Logan at the same time, but he seems to be kind of just carrying on. He's putting his energy into the training. So let's see what happens.
Well, I guess Logan's gone through kind of criticism and online hate before, so it's probably nothing. It's probably nothing really new to Logan. He's probably like, okay, it's happening. Who cares? Ignore it. Move on. So I guess it's just for Logan. After he's been through so much, it probably won't affect him as much as someone as it would if it hasn't happened to them before. Um, on that card, there's meant to be Slim versus Salt Pappy. Obviously, negotiations kind of fell through with that one. Is your relationship with Slim still good now?
Yeah, I've got nothing against Slim as a person. I think he's great. I think he's very entertaining, and he's a good boxer. And I think he had a real opportunity that was missed. It's a shame, but let's see. I don't really know why he didn't take that fight. I don't have a. I just think it's his team telling him, "Hey, you can get more money. You can get more money," and it's like just greed kills deals.
Well, Slim put a tweet out yesterday saying, I mean, we need to make sure I get it right, but it's like one door closes, another one opens. So is Slim still fighting in October, or is it on a card after that?
I don't know what he's referring to, but to be honest, I hope he gets paid $10 million to fight someone in Saudi or something. I would not listen. I'm not someone who ever wishes bad on anyone, and I don't need to say, "Oh, I told you so," blah blah blah. I just think if it's about, it depends what it's about. So for me, it's hard to relate because the money is it comes with a territory of being passionate about what you do and taking care of your fans and taking care of people who are there to see you and giving them what they want, and the money should be secondary, and it always comes. And if you're genuine and authentic in what you're doing and what you're passionate about, then that money always gets you get the money that will come you know so for me it's hard to relate, but listen, again, I don't know what he's referring to, but I absolutely hope whatever it is, it's great and it makes him happy.
Okay, that's surprising. I thought maybe he might be offered another fight on Misfits, but I guess not. I've been trying to get into a Slim for a while. So Slim, do check your messages on WhatsApp, please. Salt Pappy and Blueface. Rumors are kind of sparring of that one. Whack, Blueface's manager, went on the famous No Jumper podcast for Alan 22, and they were talking about it. Salt Pappy and Blueface could kind of be a main event in its own. Is that likely for the undercard of KSI Tommy Fury?
We'll see. We're definitely talking to a few prospective opponents for Salt Pappy. Very much want him on the cards, so um, we'll know very soon.
Okay,
But
good,
it will
good.
be yeah.
Yeah, Blueface obviously a massive star, huge pool as well in terms of the kind of viewing numbers, and he brings a new audience in. He brings a heavy American audience in, which is always good to see for Mrs. Boxing. But normally, when you guys announce a big fight, you post the full card on Instagram where everyone sees the fights? Are we expecting to get a fight announcement each week for this
I
card?
think I think these are big enough fights. I think these are big enough fights that um, you should they should each have their individual shine.
I
So
agree.
there should be individual announcements, and then you do the full card graphic
Okay.
and out for everyone to see, which will be nice. But yeah, it's going to be spectacular night. Just amazing. There's things I'm working on now. I'm getting close to to getting the full card over the line, and if all goes as planned, it's just going to be it's going to be historical. It's one you don't want to miss, you know. And just being a part of it in any way, I think is going to be it's going to be a memory making card.
How many fights are going to be on the card?
I'm working on that, and it depends because obviously I've got to speak to DAZN, but I'm looking at doing a good amount of fights. Main card will be probably will be 7, I'd say, and prelims as well. So I'm working on a few fights for the prelims, and yeah, it's just from top to bottom going to be really exciting.
Okay, that sounds quite good then. Deji, he won't be on the card then. Is that because I know that there were rumors of him fighting Bryce Hall, but Bryce needs a little bit more time to recover from his bare knuckle fight. And news on
Yeah,
Deji being on that card. Obviously, he'd probably quite like to be on the same card as his brother JJ.
I think that's fair enough. You know, he went into bare knuckle. What I loved is his post fight interview in the ring, great, but the one afterwards at the press conference where he said, if what's his opponent's name?
G Perez.
Yeah, if G Perez didn't get injured, he thinks he would have lost. I've never heard someone say that, so I give him props for that. I think that was really funny and honest at the same time. But I like Bryce a lot. I think he's got potential to just be a huge star in the Misfits ecosystem. Massive, you
Mm,
know. If he trains with real commitment, I think he could be a real player, you know.
yeah, I do agree. But is Bryce versus Deji? Is that the next fight for Misfits, do you reckon? For Bryce?
Let's see how it goes. You know, these things are never as straightforward as you want. I did speak to someone today. It was the best negotiation ever. Okay, I called the guy. He wants to fight. He's done a few cool things and everything, you know, but he's still building his profile. I called him. I said, "Hey, this is the fight. It's a tough fight for him as well. It's a good fight." I said, "This is the fight." He goes, "Yep, I'll take it." And I said, "Do you want to know your purse?" And he goes, "What are you offering?" And I said, "This is what it is. You're starting out with us. This is what the fee is." He goes, "Okay, perfect. Here's my email. Just send me the contract." Okay, great.
And you just told me
If
like, oh wow, that was easy.
no, I said to him, I said, like, if everyone was like him, I think my stress levels would be like -30. You know, so just really cool and refreshing when you get guys like that. And I note it and I keep it in my mind. I'm like, there has to be some reward for someone who doesn't make people's lives difficult or is unreasonable. I offered him a very fair offer, and it's a good opportunity for him. But the way he reacted just made it a pleasure to do business with him and a pleasure to and obviously I want to do repeat business with him and I hope he does well. You know, I hope he wins the crowd over and everything. And I think sometimes when and it's fine. I'm not judging people who negotiate. Sometimes I negotiate when you know when I need to. But at the end of the day, if you're being given a fair offer and a fair opportunity, and you're not, you know, I don't like when a fighter tries their best to take advantage of us, and we're showing stats and saying, hey, this is what's happening when you're fighting. This is what you're bringing in. This is the revenue you're bringing in. So how are you asking me for 10 times more than what you're bringing in? And that model will fail for any organization, you know. So we can't do that. That's what people don't get. It's not greed from our side. It's just fairness, transparency, and trying to entertain you guys. You know, trying to put on a show that everyone wants more of, and that's what it's about for me, and that's what it's about for JJ. It's about providing entertainment and providing a platform and opportunities for guys like the guy I was speaking to, and Pineda and Swarms and all our roster who are really grateful, and we're really grateful for them too. I love that when there is gratitude, and I promise you this. I always bring in a little bit of philosophy in our interviews, but if you walk with gratitude in your essence, whatever you're doing, if you're truly grateful, you feel the gratitude for all that you're blessed with, whatever it is, even if it's not as much as the next man and not as much as the next man. I promise you, that vibration attracts more to be grateful for. It just gives you, it opens up opportunity. And I'll tell you this, like, tell me if I'm waffling, okay, Fred? But if you're a waiter in a restaurant, okay, you're a waiter in a restaurant and you are miserable about your job and you're like, I don't want to be doing this. And you bring a steak over and you're just like, here you go, sir, and everything else. Cool. You can do that if you want, but that's very unlikely to bring you more opportunities doing what you're doing. Whereas if the waiter in the restaurant is like, feels your vibe and is talkative and friendly and goes the extra mile to make sure you're okay and you're having a good meal and is chatty but not overly, not in an annoying way. You know, it's all about knowing. It's about having a high EQ, I guess, and just knowing how to interact with people. And if that waiter does that and then you find common ground and then you have a conversation about something and talk about boxing or you talk about something you're both passionate about, you find common ground as two human beings, not superior and inferior to each other, as two human beings, you find common ground. Next thing, I'd say, for example, if I'm at the restaurant and the waiter's saying something and I'm like, what a lovely guy. A, he's going to get a big tip, right? And B, I'm going to say, hey, why don't you come to the next Misfits boxing show? Or something like that. Then he comes to the Misfits boxing show. Next thing that happens is he's like, you know what? I'm really good at doing graphic design. Let me show you something, blah, blah, blah. Next thing, he's got a job that's elevated him from where he was. I mean, that's how it works. It's all about your energy. And I know that's a long-winded story, but it's really about your energy and bringing enthusiasm into whatever you're doing. And that enthusiasm converts into a connection with people, you know, because it's very hard. Like, you know how they say a smile is contagious, right? And it's the same thing. When someone's enthusiastic and friendly and genuine, it's very difficult to shoo them off, you know, unless you're a bastard. But at the end of the day, for me, people who take pride in doing whatever job that they have in front of them, whatever task they have in front of them, I really respect that. And that's kind of what's worked for me in my life as well. Always try to do whatever is in front of you with the best of your ability. Don't be lazy. Don't look for shortcuts. And when you don't look for shortcuts, the shortcuts come, you know?
Well, I think it's always the more you put into something, the more you get out of it. And I think that's kind of true in every kind of thing you do, which does make a lot of sense. I remember the first time I met you properly, just over a year ago. I kind of walked into your kind of hotel where we was doing the interview outside, and you're talking to the security guard. I was thinking, why are you talking to the security guard for? It's like, oh yeah, well, I've been chatting with him quite a bit since I've been here. He's coming to the fight. I've just given him kind of ringside or kind of very, very good tickets. And I was like, oh, okay, that's quite nice. So yeah, you do see a lot in life. Just a few more things before we run out of time. Misfits 009. Are we going to expect an announcement very soon for that?
Yes, right after, I think a day after the press conference or something. So it's coming
Okay.
next week for sure.
Okay, cool, cool. Um, Misfits. Oh, actually, I'll talk about this. I should got my notes here. You're very special, man. So I prepared some notes for you. I don't prepare any notes for any interviews.
Um,
Gibbs versus
on-
King Kenny, the Kingpin final on the zone. Who wins that? Gibbs versus Kenny.
um, I'm 50-50. I veer back and forth, but I do think maybe 55-45. I don't know. I'm biased because King Kenny is a Misfits boxing fighter, you know. So I'm going to be biased and I'm going to support him. But I think Gibb has excelled a lot and he's improved a lot and he's committed himself. They both have. You've got to give them both a lot of respect, to be honest. So may the best man win. I'm okay with whatever the result is, and obviously, I hope they put on a great fight for everyone.
That is a true 50-50 fight. That's very, very pick 'em. Very difficult. It's kind of UK kind of cut in half almost. Everyone loves the Beta Squad and King Kenny, and everyone loves Gibbs. So it'd be quite hard for people kind of supporting and picking a side for that one. But let's talk about Misfits though, the brand. Misfits merchandise has been on the fans' mind for quite a long time. Any news on that at all?
Misfits merchandise is available at any of our shows and will be on the website, which will be online and available before the show, before the Prime card.
Okay, perfect. That's great timing then.
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. So I went to the Jake Paul fund. They got really good merchandise, the posters and stuff like that. And I feel like it's something the Misfits can do as well. because you get fake people. I see it already in like stores and stuff, or like on eBay or on secondhand websites. But it's all fake stuff, so you don't really want to be buying that.
Don't buy that stuff. It's gonna one wash and the print's gonna go away, and it's just it's all nonsense. But yeah, I've seen all kinds of fake stuff around. I've got
Yeah,
a Prime hat somewhere. Did I give you a Prime hat?
yeah, I got it here. Let me get it. It's in my room here. There, very
There
nice.
you go. You can take the sticker off and wear it if you want.
But I thought, no. I was wearing it. I think I put a picture of it on my Instagram story the other day. Are you meant to keep a sticker on? Are you meant to take it off?
I don't. I listen. I'm older than you. I don't know what you guys do. You keep the sticker on. Is that the cool thing?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not that cool myself, to be honest. What
I
about
think you just take the sticker off. I think it looks cooler.
who'll comment below if I keep it on or take it off? Misfits boxing video game. We hadn't heard much about this in a while. Any news on it?
You're not going to hear about it for a while until it's ready. I mean, it's a 2 year process, so it's in the works as we've said, and let's see how it goes. But yeah, I'm excited when that day comes. I think the future for Misfits boxing is very bright. I think the demand has gone up. You hear louder voices, more critics, and there's more voices talking about it negatively and positively, which just means we have a bigger fan base with a wider scope now. Numbers are increasing all the time, and I think we're doing something right here, you know. And I think people are starting to understand that a pay-per-view is going to always be a lot more super fights than a fight night style thing, and that's after X Series X. We're going to differentiate and make sure that it's less confusing for people so they know what to expect when it's a pay-per-view and when it's a non-pay-per-view in terms of numbered cards.
So you're gonna have like, is it like a WWE having the name like Backlash or Royal Rumble? We have a name for an event then.
Yeah, it's events will be named and the non-pay-per-views will continue to be numbered.
So what's an example of a name you'd have it called?
Um, I would have I would have Frantic Fred fights Fox Pop. Sorry, that was terrible. Please edit that out.
That's staying in, Mams. So jokes.
I'm okay. I'm so cringe. I don't know. I haven't thought
Well,
that
whose
far.
idea? Who's going to be in charge of naming the pay-per-views? Because they're going to get a lot of stick online. Let's name and shame them right now. Who are misfits? Let's name them. Who's going to be in charge of naming the pay-per-views?
Well, I guess I am, and I'll run it by JJ, and he's got an ability to stop me from being cringe, to some degree. So when I come up with terrible ideas, I'm so embarrassed just now. um, yeah, I don't know. You know, we'll all consult each other, and at the end of the day, we'll make sure we have, you know, banger names, and
Hmm.
and and it'll be fun.
It'll
It'll
get
work out.
it'll get memed as well, which obviously helps the promotion a lot. Let's talk about this though before we end off. Jake Paul and Logan Paul, their clips been going viral very recently, going back and forth on the podcast. Your kind of thoughts on the beef? Where do you stand by it?
I don't know. They're brothers at the end of the day, so you hope they work it out, and I'm sure they will, and I'm sure they'll have conversations that we won't be privy to, just like they should. They should have private conversations, and I'm sure they'll figure it out, you know.
Hmm.
And look, who doesn't want to see that fight if it ever happened? I think it would be you know, business-wise, it would be incredible, but at the same time, who doesn't want to see that fight? Probably their parents don't want to see it. So, you know, it's not
Yeah.
something I would push for. If it ever happens organically, then obviously it happens. But otherwise, I think we all have that sense of old school Disney where we want a happy ending for
Hmm.
families and friends and things like that. So I hope I'm sure and I'm confident they'll work it out. You know, they've been very close throughout their lives.
The
And
clip
listen,
shows.
my brother and I, we didn't get along for the first 23 years of my life at all, you know, and it was and I loved him and I loved being around him, but I was always the little brother. And it was when I started coming into my own, we had our issues. And um, after, you know, I think we settled it after a while, and we get along like a house on fire now. So you go through different phases as brothers, you know.
I met your brother at the press conference. Oh no, I think it was the weigh-in for the KSI Joe Fournier fight, and he was really, really nice. I was like, oh hi Fred. Oh, you kind of double think for a second because he looks like Mams. I'm like, I never met this guy before. How does he
What's
know
he
my
look
name?
like?
He's like, I'm Mams Taylor's brother. I can't remember his first name, something Taylor. I was like, oh no way. So it was really nice. Jake Paul made a comment on his podcast about the pay-per-view numbers that KSI had sold. Some people are saying they're not very accurate. I think he said something around like 100,000, when they're really at about 300,000. I don't know the stats myself, but I can tell you guys weren't too happy pleased by it.
I, I don't think I was affected. I think that showed how easy it is for him to just spout out any lie he wants. And it's just easy, like drinking a glass of water for him, it's nothing. He can just put out a lie, and at the end of the day, that's something I don't really respect. But I think the vast majority of people who watched that commented that they can tell he's lying, and he was. I mean, he's obviously just trying to downplay everything we're doing. And at the end of the day, I think he's doing very well. He's doing a lot of great things for women's boxing. He's putting on a great show at the same time, and his pay-per-view numbers, which we know what they were, um, they they're still good in this climate. I've said
Wait, what were the
pay-per-view.
numbers, Mams? I'm not sure myself.
I think a number of publications printed what they were, so you guys can find it. But it was, again, whatever he says, take it with a pinch of salt. At the end of the day, you can't, he always exaggerates by some number. So
Well, it says here, YouTube boxer Jake Paul claimed this fight against Nate Diaz did 500,000 pay-per-view buys. If that's true, that is very, very good.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it is very good if it's true. Even if, listen, the true number was still very, very good, even if it wasn't quite that. Okay,
Hmm. Even
worldwide,
300,000 pay-per-view buys is very, very good. Because when you think
it
that's
is.
300,000
It is.
people in America
It is.
paying their 50
But
bucks,
look,
that's a lot.
you have to credit Nate Diaz a lot for that too.
Hmm.
If not more than Jake Paul. I think Nate Diaz, people were there to see Nate, but they were there to see Nate fight Jake, and they were there to see Jake fight Nate. And that's where I think KSI's first fight since Logan, where people are there to see him fight Tommy Fury. People are going to watch Tommy Fury to see him fight KSI. So this is really KSI's first test. But yes, to confirm 100% what he claimed about our numbers off, way, way off, way, way off. I think our numbers are public anyway. They've been public for a while, and they were far more than what he said by 3 or 4 times more, and then some. So yeah, it is what it is. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, who cares? Let people talk.
Hmm. I got a good relationship with Jake and Nikiska. They're both very, very kind to me, so we got nothing against no one. Two more questions before I leave off. How confident are you that Jake Paul and KSI will finally sign the contract and negotiations will be good after the fight with Tommy?
I'm not. I think there's bigger fish to fry. Let's see what happens. If they play games, we're just not interested. So, and they've played plenty of games, and I think they've now shown that they've played the games. With again another out and out lie. Jake saying, "Listen, for all Dillon Danis's flaws, he wasn't lying about those screenshots from Mosley." And Jake said, "Oh, it's fake DMs." They're not fake DMs. They're real. They've been proven to be real. But after that was proven, he still continued to say they're fake. So it's really easy for this guy to lie. Like it's nothing. And I feel like if JJ got in that situation, he would be dragged for months. So there's a bit of a double standard there. That's a bit frustrating. But other than that, live and let live, man.
Is the bigger fish to fry Conor McGregor?
I think that would be amazing. I think that would be a lot of
Is that
fun.
who you're referring to though, Conor?
Yeah, I think that would be a great fight. But listen, what we have to do right now is focus on KSI and Tommy Fury. That's the fight. Logan Paul and Dillon Danis and the rest of the prime card. Let's focus on that. Take one step at a time.
It was
It's
very
not an
odd
easy.
though, because obviously KSI and Conor McGregor. I remember watching the video when it came out, or about 5 years ago, where they're playing UFC. Conor was sitting there with his Burberry scarf as the old JJ, a bit chubbier. And then 5 years later, there's Conor on the mic kind of calling him out, which seemed kind of odd almost because Conor never calls anyone out. Jake Paul's been chasing the Conor McGregor fight for a very long time, and Conor's never responded to him. KSI hasn't said anything about Conor McGregor in a long time, or ever. I don't think anything negative about him ever. I think he's praised. I think KSI's praised Conor a lot on Twitter. So what was Conor doing calling him out? Where did that kind of come from?
I don't know, but you never look a gift horse in the mouth. Like that'd be a great fight to make. Let's get through Tommy Fury and then regroup and see where JJ's head is at, what he wants. That's the most important, what he feels like doing. And yeah, he's got to focus on Tommy. That's a tough fight. And I believe that JJ will get the win. And, after that, we regroup and we figure it out.
Is McGregor KSI the biggest fight for KSI out there right now?
Right now, we have to keep the focus on Tommy. That's a
Yeah.
massive fight in itself. So I think we put our energy into that.
Final thing
So
before I see you on Tuesday. You're at the press conference, aren't you?
depends if my COVID goes away. It's bloody lingering.
Oh.
So yeah, I'll be okay. It's just one of those lingering ones. But of course, I'd love to be there.
Final thing for me, your final prediction, KSI Tommy. Do you reckon KSI
Uh,
stops him to go
yeah,
distance? Who wins?
KSI knocks him out within 3, and Logan round 1 decapitation. He's very, very, very. There's a lot of bad blood boiling between them, so that's my opinion.
Security will be needed at the press conference. That's
We will
awesome.
have. Yeah, thank you, Fred, as always. Lots of love.